good life. Jeff wants you to look good, feel good, and live good. I'm Eloy Gomez. I'm the CEO of Mr. Jeff. The story of Jeff began in 2015 when me and my friends Adrian and Ruben wanted to create a business that changed lives. After hard market research, we said, guess we got it. We realized the laundry sector had not evolved to the 21st century. While people was buying, listening music, renting a flat, or finding love through mobile apps, laundries were still in the street with no technology. So we got down to business and offered them the solution, Jeff. Now, Jeff is the first super app that offers daily services on making people's life easier. You can book laundry, beauty, or fitness services from Jeff app. But Jeff is more than that. We decided to return to the neighborhoods what digitalization took away from them, and we create a digital franchise model. However, the road to get here has been like a roller coaster. Firstly, we created as the tech platform to connect laundry services with users. After, we want to control the logistic step to offer and guarantee the best experience to our customers. So finally, we realized that combining franchise model with tech platform was the perfect business match to offer the best possible service to our users. We choose a franchise model that allows us to scale faster and with better quality for our end customers. Today, we have more than 2,000 Jeff points in more than 30 countries, from Asia, Latin, Europe to Africa. Well, we started just 3 friends, ends of 2015. Now, almost 4 years later, we are 500 Jeffs of more than 25 nationalities. So we are really proud of the team that we have built so far. Definitely, we try to create a Jeff culture to provide the best possible service to our customers. Jeff will not be just one solution. Jeff wants to become an ecosystem. We see that the future will be around 40 to 50 ecosystems in the world, and we want to play a role there. This is our third company. We have successfully sold the 2 first, and now we have a clear vision to go to IPO, be a public company next 3 to 4 years.
Thank you for that video, Kanika. Friends, a very good evening to all of you, and I welcome you all to the webinar of Mr. Jeff. I'm Sonia Chaudhary. I'm part of the management at Franchise India, and I come with more than 20 years of experience, primarily working with business wise investors like you, where I have advised investors on buying a business. And I've also been instrumental in entry of many international brands to the Indian market. And this is one such opportunity, friends, that we bring to you today, which is an international company by the name of Mr. Jeff. And this is a market entry opportunity for India and with a leading brand from Spain. I also have with me Ms. Nitika. She's also leading the project along with me. And to set a perspective, friends, I'll give you a brief introduction on the opportunity of Mr. Jeff and also Franchise India. We are a 24-year-old company, and we've been in this business for very long, where we advise investors on buying business on one side, and on the other side, we also work with companies for their expansion. At the same time, while we do that, we are also, because we understand the business and that industry at large being a catalyst in this industry, we also understood, what kind of businesses, formats, and industries are futuristic. And we felt very optimistic about Mr. Jeff. And this was one company that Franchise India has been following for the last couple of years. They are perhaps the largest, growing or the fastest growing company in this category across the globe. And it was last year when we reached out to them and we felt India was ready for an opportunity like this to come. And we took the exclusive rights as a country developer. So instead of just marketing the opportunity, Franchise India became the country developer for Mr. Jeff. And we have been given this responsibility to select the right candidates for master franchisees. So when I say Franchise India became partners with them, I would also like to add, as a company, we manage thousands of companies, and we launch every day one brand on an average. But unless we are very uh, I would say convinced, or we have our own belief on that opportunity, we do not become partners with that particular brand or the opportunity. But this was one company that we had our complete belief and conviction on. So we took the rights, and we are now developing partners across India in a very structured process, where the initial preference is with the top cities in the country, starting with Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. These are the locations that we want to enter first. And so while we take you through a short presentation, friends, I'll also request all of you if you can make this session interactive. And I don't know where all friends you have joined. As I speak, I still see a lot of you still joining in. If you can take onto the Q&A box, आप सब अपने screen पे एक Q&A box देख सकते हैं नीचे. And if you have any questions that you want to ask on the industry, on the business at large, please go ahead and use that Q&A box. And also I'll request, because this is a business opportunity webinar that we are doing, and the opportunity is defined, which is a leading laundry company. And one thing which I want to ask all of you, and whenever you want to start a business, the very first thing that comes to our mind is, when do we start that business? किसी भी चीज को अचीव करने का माइलस्टोन जो होता है, उसका टाइमलाइन हम पहले ही डिसाइड कर लेते हैं. If we don't have a timeline, we're not able to achieve that goal or that milestone that we want to be. So मेरा पहला question for all of you would be, if you're looking at starting a business, do you have a timeline in mind? अगर आप देख रहे हैं next 15 दिन में, महीने में, 2 महीने में, 3 महीने में, 6 months, 1 year, I don't know, it might be different for all of you. If you can start writing in the Q&A box, what is a timeline for you to start the business? I like to, read that. And if you can also mention which city you're from, friends, so please go in the Q&A पे आप लिखिए क्या timeline है business शुरू करने का, what cities that you come from. And my third thing which I would like to also ask is, if you have any experience of running a franchise business or running a business, even if you're a first-time business buyer, आप लिख सकते हैं, you're a professional who want to get into a business, and that's something also which I like to understand. It's better if we understand each other because we want to make it interactive. The only way I can do it is through this Q&A. So welcome, Devesh ji. You're looking for a 1 month time frame to start the business. So welcome. Friends, keep writing in. I'll keep reading whatever you write. आप लिखिए क्या timeline है आपका? What is the city that you come from? And my third question is, if you have any experience of running a business, whether that's your own business or it is a franchise business, अगर आप लेंगे Q&A में and लिखेंगे, I'll let you write all that, and I'll read that out on your behalf. I'll know each one of you better. So while you do that, I'll wait for all your comments in the Q&A box. I will also give you a brief on Mr. Jeff. And Mr. Jeff is a globally successful company, and they firmed up their plan to come to the Indian market only in the last half of the year 2021. And their decision to come to India came after they made the very successful market entries in almost all countries across the globe. 40 countries they entered. And last year was the biggest market in the world, which is America. They entered that market. And they tied up with a company called Clean Ventures. And Clean Ventures is a venture capital fund. So a venture capital fund by the name of Clean Ventures is Mr. Jeff's partner in America. And this company, which is Venture Capital Fund, they are a company which only invests in laundry companies in the growth stage. Startup stage पे नहीं करती, सिर्फ growth stage पे invest करती हैं. So ये company ने Mr. Jeff के साथ partner किया है. And I'm giving you this example so that you have understanding on the pedigree of partners. And globally, इनके partners are credible companies or I would say business owners who are running these businesses, reputed businesses in these 40 countries. Last year, 2021 was a very challenging year. This year also, the company raised their Series B financing round. So उन्होंने Series B last year raise किया था. And this funding round was led by All Iron Ventures. They raised about 17.4 million pounds in this year. And some of the other investors that also participated in the round are companies like Alibaba ने इसमें participate किया था investment round में, Dropbox ने किया था, Uber ने किया था, Stripe ने किया था, and these are all big companies, tech companies हैं. So I'm giving these examples so that you understand the credibility which the company has established, and also the investors who participated in the round. And this investment has come after the company has already established their successful prototype, not in one city or one country, but in 40 countries globally. So, and they also entered, a very big market, Brazil, and they're expanding now pan global markets, and they have entered all big markets through inorganic growth, which includes acquisitions and also franchising. So when I say Brazil, when they entered Brazil, they acquired the largest laundry franchise chain in the company, which is a Lava e Leva. If you are following this industry, that is the biggest company in Brazil. They acquired that brand. So now through this acquisition, this company, they consolidated not only the most important market in the world, but also one of the largest market in the world. And India also, in terms of the geographic and demographics, is similar to Brazil. So the brand is the fastest growing startup, I would say, in the world. No more a startup, a 6-year-old company though, but they're a fastest growing brand across all categories. When I say fastest growing, it does not mean कि सिर्फ laundry में fastest growing है, rather across all categories, चाहे वो food है, वो service है, any kind of business, they are a very fast growing company. And there are two things which they have actually focused, most on. First is convenience and second is technology. ये दोनों चीजें Mr. Jeff का core है. That's the foundation, of the company. And they've actually transformed the way people do laundry, and they've transformed the industry globally at large. So, and also to set a little understanding on, how this industry behaves, it is very important for you to understand this market. And if I look at India also, India's laundry market is, it should be around $15 billion in the next, 3 years time by 2025. And there is significant adoption today that you see in online services. A lot of new users are transacting online, which is actually favoring the overall growth, of the online services. And Indian laundry industry is close to about 220,000 crore in size. Now, to give you some, maybe references, even if we take the top 10 cities in the country, अगर हिंदुस्तान की लोग पूछते हैं कौन लोग laundry कर रहे हैं, कौन लोग consume कर रहे हैं, maybe 5 years back, this was a category which was yet to be created. 5 साल पहले लोग नहीं जाते थे. They were consuming these services, more, I would say, unorganized तरीके से, या हर सिटी में थोड़े बहुत companies थी जो 2 या 3 अपने outlet चलाती थी. Now, all that you would see, वो सब कुछ खत्म होके, bigger organized companies have come, and सारी organized chains हो गई हैं. So even if I look at 10 top cities in the country, अगर 10 cities को लें और इन 10 cities में भी अगर मैं सिर्फ top 30% population जो working है उसको मैं समझूं कि वो मेरा ऑडियंस है, then also overall हिंदुस्तान का जो current size है is nothing less than $10 billion industry, and this is growing every year. अगर आप देखेंगे जो unorganized है इसका शेयर हर साल घटता जा रहा है, और जो भी organized chains हैं इनका शेयर हर साल आपका बढ़ता जा रहा है. The share is growing. And अगर हम इस इंडस्ट्री की बात करें, 3 सेगमेंट्स है. There are 3 segments in this business. एक बड़ा primitive segment है, which is, we call that धोबी segment, which is very very primitive. अभी भी काम करता है, but tier 1 locations में नहीं करता. Mostly it's more of a tour, to tier 2 or a tier 3 kind of a phenomena. Very very unhygienic. आपको नहीं मालूम आपका कपड़ा कहाँ पे जा रहा है, कहाँ से साफ होके आता है. It comes back to you. दूसरा जो आपका सेगमेंट है इस इंडस्ट्री में, विच इज मोर इंडस्ट्रियल लॉन्ड्री. इंडस्ट्रियल लॉन्ड्री क्या होता है कि बिग फैक्ट्रीज होती हैं या बड़ी मशीन्स होती हैं, एंड दीज कंपनीज पुट देयर कलेक्शन पॉइंट्स. सो आउटसाइड या आउटस्कर्ट्स पे ये फैक्ट्रीज हैं या ये बड़ी मशीन्स इंस्टॉल करती हैं कंपनीज, एंड सिटी के अंदर ये छोटे छोटे कलेक्शन पॉइंट्स आपके खोल देती हैं. इन कलेक्शन पॉइंट्स में आपके कपड़े इकट्ठे होते हैं, इन सब बड़ी मशीन्स में जाते हैं धुलने के लिए. इट कम्स बैक टू कलेक्शन पॉइंट, एंड इन कलेक्शन पॉइंट से आपके घर पे जाते हैं. अगेन दिस इज समथिंग which is very unhygienic, क्योंकि इसमें भी आपके there is mixing of clothes, and जो कपड़े धुलते हैं ये बैचेस में धुलते हैं, because these are big machines, ये छोटा लोड कैरी नहीं कर सकती, तो बहुत सारे कपड़े इकट्ठे धुलते हैं. Again, you don't have any visibility or transparency, very very hygienic. So the problem which organized chain started actually solving was the hygiene, transparency and convenience which people started to have. तो जो third format है इस industry का, वो आपका laundromat या laundry जिसको हम कहते हैं, laundry model है, which is gaining a lot of traction. And if we look at ourselves also, how we consuming these services, people hardly have 7 to 8 hours. हर हफ्ते हमारे पास 7 से 8 घंटे होते हैं जहाँ पे हम अपना मैनेज करते हैं laundry, and this has become a very huge point. On an average, अगर हम 4 लोगों का फैमिली भी देखते हैं, they spend almost about 2,000 rupees every month on washing clothes, and which includes services like even your maid at home, maybe the expenditure that we do 200 से 300 रुपए डिटर्जेंट के ऊपर भी जाता है, 500-700 रुपए आपका धोबी लेता है जो आयरनिंग के लिए लेता है, And to add on to this, there is also a capital depreciation. जो machines हम घर में use करते हैं, उसका capital depreciation भी अगर हम add करते हैं for the life time of that machine, 500 रुपए आपका उसका cost और incur होता है. And in spite of having all that, maybe a help at home, the ironing guy at our disposal, the machine that we have, people, still don't get convenience, they don't get reliability, and वो quality issues हमेशा रहते हैं. And hence, this opportunity of laundry becomes a very big category, not only in India, but globally, and globally बहुत बड़ा है. India started to catching up in the last 4-5 years. And we have, more than 100 startups which came in this space in the last 5 years, and less than 20 startups, were seed funded. Having said that, none of these startups have been able to scale so much. Funding मिली हुई बहुत सारी startups को, but they were also not able to scale up. And there is no international player in this industry. You have a lot of international companies coming, thronging the market, but this category में, इस industry में कोई भी international player नहीं है. So which makes this opportunity even more interesting. So I'll take you through, a short presentation, guys. Keep writing in whatever your questions are. And Nitika, if I can request you to please put the presentation. And guys, keep writing in. जो भी आपको लगता है आपके questions हैं, पूछना चाहते हैं, please write that, and I'll be more than happy to answer that. Now, when we talk about, and if you look at the environment today, जो भी हमारा environment बना हुआ है आज का startup environment, and and we see every day एक नया unicorn, $1 billion companies बन जाती हैं हर रोज, and these are the companies, जो companies बड़ी बन रही हैं, unicorn बन रही हैं. There's only one thing which is common in these companies, and that they have come up with something which is innovative solutions, of bringing technology to traditional industries. A lot of innovation is happening. Technology जितनी भी हमारी traditional businesses थे, चाहे वो सब्जी खरीदना था, खाना खरीदना था, ordering food, ये सारे traditional एरिया कोई नया business है, but what these companies have done is they have actually integrated technology to these traditional industries, चाहे वो service था, हमारा product था. So even companies like Dunzo, for that matter, Big Basket है, आपका Zomato है, Paytm है, they're all today, big $1 billion companies because they've kind of disrupted the industry with technology. So the company, Mr. Jeff, actually, is a 6-year-old company. Can we go on the next slide, Nitika? I'll quickly take you through what we would cover today. So we would cover a little bit about the company, the founders of the company, the story of the company, the journey rather, the last 6 years, and then we'll come down to the business model of what they're offering. So the company was founded in 2015, about 6 years back, and present in about 40 countries, like I mentioned. And it is a tech-based laundry brand, a convenience service provider. हर चीज जो हम आज कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं in all our homes, you will find, and I'm sure you all would agree, there's a rising smart city concept, ease of living across all cities in India, and all domestic services, जितने भी services हम अपने घर में कंज्यूम करते हैं, these are all becoming digitalized. आज भी आपके फोन पे बहुत सारी एप्स होती होंगी जहाँ पे हम सारी चीजें जितनी भी कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, we are making our payments through all these digitalized services. So all domestic services will become digitalized, right? So the solution which Mr. Jeff is bringing is not just a format, but they're bringing the entire experience to their franchise partner. Globally, जो ये market है बहुत fragmented है, and even in India, this is a very fragmented market because there are large number of companies even at global level who are competing for the same market share. बहुत सारी companies हैं, fragmented है, but there is no leader at the top. That means there is enough room for a market leader to be there. And Mr. Jeff has actually managed to revolutionize the sector, which is as traditional as laundry, and they've become world leaders in the sector. अगर आप Google करेंगे, you will find out how the company has actually evolved in the last so many years. Second thing which I talked about was convenience. अगर हम convenience की बात करते हैं, consumers like us are prioritizing convenience. We are living in an era of convenience economy. Convenience economy is service centric. Service centric means that it is in control and centered around the consumer who is consuming these services. So, what LinkedIn is to professional network, what Amazon is to e-commerce, this is what Mr. Jeff is to personal day-to-day services. And India, they're only launching one business, but globally, everything that you will consume, they started in Europe. So, आपके घर में कोई भी service आती है, तो, that comes through a Jeff platform. So there are many businesses the companies into, but India, they're launching only, one business, which is the business of laundry. Next slide, please. So, that's the vision of the company. They want to be in the business of, living good, looking good and feeling good. All the pictures that you see here are different businesses of the company. But the one thing which is common is, convenience and technology. They will do everything which is convenience to the end consumers, and technology-based businesses like beauty, fitness, muscle relaxation. These are businesses that the company is in. And they wanted to actually create a branded omni-channel ecosystem. So all these services hum kahin na kahin consume karte hain, but this is not branding. This is not coming from a branded environment. So the company has created a branded omni-channel ecosystem for all day-to-day services, which makes people feel good, look good, and live good. With consumer centricity, which is the epitome of their business. Next slide, please. Next slide. So these are the three founders of the company, and you heard Eloy in the video. So he's the one who founded the company. He's leading the entire business, and along with him, we have Adrian, who's the tech head. He leads the entire tech-based functions, along with Ruben, who heads the entire marketing globally for them. So these are three co-founders of Mr. Jeff. Next slide, please. This story is very interesting, friends, and I've not seen many startups who in the last 6 years, despite I would say last 2 years, which was very slow for everyone, companies expand nahi kar rahi thi, grow nahi kar rahi thi, but us time pe bhi is company in last 2 years, they entered almost about 15 countries. Inhi 2 saalon mein, where companies had stalled their expansion plan, they were shutting their outlets. Even in that the 2-year time frame, they were announcing their market entries in some of the biggest markets in the world. So they started in 2015, a city called Valencia. 2016 में इन्होंने अपना subscription model launch किया था, and subscription model in a service business is must. No service business can do well if they don't have subscription. So that's what they launched, because subscription में क्या होता है कि आपका predictability बनता है, what kind of people are consuming services, and when people are consuming these services, you also have predictability on the cash flows. So you need typically households who would take these services every month, which gives you big visibility on your cash flows. And 2017, after they had launched subscription services, they launched the franchise model. After about 1.5 years of launching their business. 2019, they were already in 20 countries, and 2021, there was another 20 countries which they entered. So look at the growth of the company which they entered, just in a short span of, I would say 4 years, starting with 2017, जहाँ पे उन्होंने अपना franchise model launch किया था, till 2021, they were already in 40 countries. ये एक city की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम. We're talking about, every year, on an average, they were launching about 12 to 13 countries. So that is the speed the company has been growing. Next slide, please. And this speed and confidence is also reflecting in the interest which is gained, or I would say the trust which has been gained in this company by many marquee investors, and I'll take you through that also in the subsequent slides. So this is the slide where you see the current presence of Mr. Jeff. So you have Latin America, US, Africa, Southeast Asia, Europe, all the highlighted portions that you see in purple is where the current presence of the company is, and they have more than 3,000 franchisees. When I say 3,000, the number on the screen says 2,500. They have been adding about 80 franchisees to 100 franchisees every month. Global ये जो 40 कंट्रीज में प्रेजेंस है, तकरीबन 80 से 100 फ्रेंचाइजीज हर महीने इन कंट्रीज में ये ऐड कर रहे हैं. So and they currently have more than 2 million users. When I say users, they are only counting the subscribers. Subscribers वो है जो regularly services consume करते हैं इनकी globally. While you also have a retail user जो one time service consume करता है, but these are people who are subscribers for their businesses taking these services from their platform. Next slide. This is again a very important, a slide. And if you look at the top, what it says is they are used. The company Mr. Jeff is a reference point in technology and business. अगर technology की बात करी जाती है global, अगर मैं landscape की बात करूं, the company Mr. Jeff is taken as a reference, point for any company which is coming in the technology space. And in the year 2017, they were also awarded as the top 20 startups in the world. This is not Europe, this is not US, this is not Africa. 2017 में हजारों startups आए थे हिंदुस्तान में भी, but only 20 startups got awarded by Google in 2017 in the entire world, and Mr. Jeff was one of them. And then they have another set of awards, and these are all very prestigious awards which the company has won, including some of the awards in technology, marketing, a startup award. Next slide. Great team the company has. All the logos, friends, that you see on this slide, this is a picture of one of their headquarters in Spain, and their team comes with many nationalities. It is not just, they're not all Spanish. They come with, I think, about 30 odd nationalities that their team comes from. And these teams also have experience in working with the top companies in the world. Facebook se leke Uber, Google, Nike, Grab, Barclays, Rakuten, Coca-Cola, Booking.com. All these companies is where their specialized teams have worked, and on an average their teams have more than 15-20 years of experience in their domain, working with all top brands of the world. We can all relate to these companies they worked in. Next slide, please. Now, I did mention, जब भी हम किसी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, we also see who are the other investors, and we look at the environment today. अगर हम startup भी समझते हैं, and at Franchise India we work with many companies, and every time we have a new opportunity that comes on board, we also see who are the investors in those companies. Because anybody who's investing in any company, वो बहुत अपना due diligence करते हैं, समझते हैं वो business growth centric है नहीं है, and if these investors can also get dividends, from that business, only then have they invest in these opportunities. And if you look at some of the names, these are all marquee investors, remarkable investors who have actually invested in Mr. Jeff, starting with, Albert. He's a co-founder and CEO of Dr. Elia. We have Vice President of Coca-Cola investing in the company. We have Airbnb GM who is invested in the company. And we also have, Ender, who led the Series B for them in last year funding round. Kim Jum, I don't know how many of you know, he's the founder of one of the largest, gaming company in Korea. So he's also an investor in the company. So a lot of these companies and these investors have invested in the opportunity of Mr. Jeff. Next slide, please. So what we want to talk about is, what is unique about the business model. And like I mentioned, this is a unique business model. And the biggest strength which Mr. Jeff is bringing is they've integrated, they've created a hybrid model जहाँ पे offline, online integrate होता है, and technology plays a very, very important role here. If we look at, the business, they have developed a very unique proposition. Technology connects the offline online world, and they have a hybrid model, and I say truly hybrid because they're bringing these two, virtual and the physical world, together. And the physical outlet blends very well with their technology based solutions. And this is where they're creating a differentiated edge for the customers. Customers like us, they need ease, they need convenience when they're looking at these services. And one main thing, while I was speaking to somebody last week after the webinar, he says, I've seen a lot of my friends doing laundry, and, this is one business which I'm interested in, but they have not been able to scale, business ठीक है जितना करते उतना ही करते आ रहे हैं, but they've not been able to scale. And this is one big reason. A lot of players are there, छोटे बड़े बहुत size के companies हैं, but many players have, and I would say mostly, players have not been able to scale. And this is not just India story. Globally also people have not been able to scale because of operational intensity of the business, both back end and front end. So Mr. Jeff made it simple through a unique, unparalleled to any other business format, where they follow a very efficient full cycle approach, right from booking via the app, pick up, cleaning, delivering washed clothes in a scheduled time frame. So globally जो उनका turnaround time is about 48 hours के अंदर ही सारा का सारा आपका full cycle structure complete होता है. And they brought the solution to their end consumers. And all the money also which they had rather raised in the last 4-5 years, all that is being invested in consumer facing experience. So anything which makes the life of a consumer or experience of a consumer great, that's where their entire investments have gone in. So starting with quality services, quick turnaround time, sorted logistics, these are some things which make one consumer choose one player over the other. So this is what the company has been doing so far. I'll also take you through, business in a box. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide. So this is business in a box. Nitika, can we go on the next slide? So business in a box is a services, and all these services they come together. It is a group of different solutions which give a very holistic approach to run and operate the business. And technology, like I mentioned, plays a very, very important role. Next slide, please. So there are four things, which are important part of their business solutions, and they call it business in a box, which is technology, the marketing, and also the brand which they bring, including the support from the specialists, both at their headquarter in Spain and also through their partners in India. So these are all things put together are solutions which the company is offering to make the experience at the store great. So starting with technology, and that's where I would say the biggest differentiator come. They arm their franchise partners with technology that is otherwise not available, for anybody. Be it maybe a micro chain, अगर कोई 2-3 outlets चलाता है, वो भी afford नहीं कर सकता है, और yeah, it is not available for them. It could be also because of the financial outreach, because there's a huge investment which has gone in, which is impossible for a company of 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 outlet to make that. अगर किसी company के पास 100 outlets भी है, तो वो भी technology afford नहीं कर सकती. But they have been able to do that, and large part of investment have gone in, and every franchise partner, is equipped with this technology, and they're empowering their partners to operate the 21st century business model, and that allows them to do a lot of things. So through this technology, they're able to attract new users. One, they're able to service their clients, and third, most important, which nobody focuses on, through the technology, they're also retaining clients. आप एक नई सर्विस जरूर कंज्यूम करने जाते हैं, but how many of us keep going back to the same service? बहुत ही कम companies हैं, right? Where we would keep going and we become their subscribers, we become their, a repeat customer for them. That's where technology comes into play. So their technology helps you attract new consumers, service your clients, and also retain the clients. And those companies which are investing in technology are the ones which are actually disrupting the industry. They're winning by offering not just convenience, but convenience at scale. I was reading, a couple of days back, I was reading one of the statements that was made by, the founder of the company, Nykaa. And she said, the very first challenge they had was they had to select the right technology in the beginning, but that technology was not easy to scale. कई बार आपके पास technology होती है, हर एक company franchising में भी बोलेगी technology है, but not every technology is ready to scale. And especially when you want to look at a bigger scale, अगर बहुत सारे outlets हैं, you need the right technology. So and she said, they were fearful when they reached a certain scale, जब एक पूरे technology, reached their optimum level. This technology, they knew it would fail them, अगर वो एक level के ऊपर जाते हैं. And that's where the investment in technology started happening. And so it's a very important, I would say, value proposition which company offers. And also because if you look at the business of laundry, बड़ा traditional business है, बड़े operational hassles बहुत हैं इस business में, right? So and Mr. Jeff ने institutionalize किया पूरे unorganized process को, and they've also addressed the quality issue. They've established the SOPs for each phase of operation, and they've also set aside a dedicated quality supervisor with each area franchisee or a master franchisee, as I would call them. And with the help of technology, a partner is able to optimize the route to its advantage. It also makes your logistics more efficient, because आपको मालूम है order कहाँ से आना है, क्या route वो करना है. It saves a lot of logistics cost in this business. And they also have a proprietary software, which is Jeff Suite software, and it is a tech administrative tool which makes all the internal business management very easy for a franchise partner. And a couple of things which Jeff Suite does is it automates a lot of tasks. It helps in tracking your clients, controlling the payments, and the entire business supervision can happen via your mobile phone. So Jeff Suite is 100% online. Then you get super support from the specialist, and there's a continuous guidance which Mr. Jeff provides you, and they have a direct access to Jeff Academy. हर एक franchise partner का access होगा Jeff Academy. They have a full-fledged academy, and this academy is their online training platform that teaches you everything you need to know about the business, how to manage the business. Having said that, you don't have to come from the experience of running a laundry, but if you have, that is always an added advantage. But they have very specified SOPs which every partner is trained on. They also support you with having a manager and an agent with each area partner that help you with your day-to-day operations and makes your business operations more efficient. So all that support is given by the company. And then is brand and marketing. And this is one question I always come across whenever we are presenting any opportunity. And I must say, they have a very robust brand and marketing structure, and a big bank of images, videos hai, templates hai, which can be used by a franchise partner. So anything that you want to do, you have an access to the entire bank of images, which is their online platform, and you can make these, and rather I would say you can customize based on the market that you are in. They also have point of sales material, and this point of sales material is a complete guide that will teach you how to create a genuine Jeff experience for your consumers. They have a marketing playbook, and this marketing playbook will give you all the tools to apply hyper locally. Hyper locally, Delhi mein, South Delhi mein khulta hai, how do I use it? How do I reach my audience? They give you launch pack. And most importantly, how do I even convert the audience? Ek to hota hai retain karna, jo aa gaya retain kar liya, but how do I even convert the audience is something a lot of companies don't teach you. They just give you a franchise manual, itna sales aayega aapka, ye aapki market size hai, but they don't teach you how can you convert an existing audience. Aapka existing audience can be going to a competition, it can be going to maybe an organized. So they give you this complete marketing playbook which you get trained on. They also do a lot of training on SEO optimization, how to even Google your business metrics, all that comes on their platform, including even reputation management, which companies don't have any answers on today. So all that is something which is taken care and trained by the systems and processes of Mr. Jeff. And as a partner, friends, you become a part of the entire business ecosystem of the company. It gives you omni-channel ecosystem. When I say omni-channel, today the modern businesses need to be omni-channel. I can't just be an online player. I can't just be offline player. Any company which has omni-channel presence, unka jo consumer ka life time hai, if I look at the value which I can draw from my end consumer, and as a consumer, if I can find my brand digitally, if I can find the company even offline, my engagement with that brand would be longer than companies which are either online or offline. Any company which has hybrid model, omni-channel, my engagement as a consumer with that company is this is tried and tested. ये आपका duration हमेशा लंबा होता है. So what they are offering the entire ecosystem, omnichannel ecosystem, which combines and together from their app, from their website, through the physical stores. And because of this, they are creating a very strong entry barrier for any new competition, which comes as a potential entrant in the market. And not only that, it makes it difficult for them to duplicate or even better the services which the company is offering. So ek to hame lagta hai dusra competition kya kar raha hai, but all these services put together, if somebody is actually doing and replicating at the outlet, it becomes a very strong barrier for any new entrant. Agar koi duplicate bhi karna hai, it will take them ages to duplicate what they've achieved so far. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So I did talk about the industry at the start, and these are some global numbers. Overall, the market is about $181.4 billion, and this is only increasing, and this is a growing sector. And the best thing is, the industry is already created. Aapne create nahi karna industry, but it's already created. You just have to convert, unorganized to organized. Matlab ye consumer kahin na kahin services consume kar raha hai. So even a lot of change India globally, they have not created maybe in all the cases new audience. They already had an audience which was taking these services, and all these services now became organized and people started using them. Next slide, please. This is a picture of one of their stores. And if you look at the store, this is a very simple, minimalistic is what I would say as a word. बहुत बड़ा capex store के ऊपर नहीं लगाया गया, बहुत ही simple interiors की गए हैं इसके. A good frontage, it has a glass frontage, very clean, with just a Mr. Jeff logo on the top, and a glass front which has a small reception at the entrance. And at the back, we have machines which are stacked. We have machines, dryers, and racks where entire consumables are kept. Next slide, please. And these are some of the certified suppliers. These are the global suppliers of Mr. Jeff from, Remax, which is a real estate company, and जो भी real estate globally Mr. Jeff के लिए देखा जाता है. Remax helps them to get that real estate. And fortunately, in India also, we are partners with Remax, and Remax is a master franchisee which Franchise India has. So we can take care of your real estate needs, and Electrolux is their machine partner, and they're global suppliers, all 40 countries. They have a global agreement with Electrolux. And there are other companies like Henkel, Orly Polish, Ecolab. These are all companies where they have a global contract for all consumables and supplies. So everything will come from a centralized distribution point in India and suppliers which the company has tied up with. Next slide. So we'll talk about the business opportunity, and on this slide, if you see this, we have an area requirement of 400 square feet, which is needed. And we don't need too big a staff, unlike many other retail businesses, food businesses, you need a big, staff which is required at the outlet, because this business is technology led. You don't need a huge team at the outlet. आपको बहुत बड़ा team outlet या staff पे आपको employ करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. Next slide, please. So very quickly on this, so this is on-demand laundry services. They are giving 3 services. इसमें laundry है, इसमें ironing है. They're also doing dry cleaning and wet cleaning. Wet cleaning भी इसमें included है, and wet cleaning is also provided by them. Wet cleaning chemicals कम use करते हैं. Dry cleaning में बहुत chemicals use करते हैं. Globally, wet cleaning is becoming very, very popular. और India में Mr. Jeff outlets will have provision of wet cleaning. So as a model, you will have 400 square feet. ये बहुत modern design है, like you saw in the pictures. So what you need in the outlet on the investment as far as equipment is concerned is about 3 washing machines वहाँ पे लगती हैं, 3 dryers हैं और एक iron table लगता है. And front आपका छोटा reception है, and जो आपका back है, that's where the machine installations is done. High productivity, because it is not dependent on human resources to a larger extent. A lot of activities happen only through the technology platform, which reduces the dependability on resources at the outlet. And you can easily have outlet which can be managed with maybe 2 to 3 team members. And lastly is optimization of production and capacity, because ये 3 machines हैं, and you have almost about 8-9 trading hours. 8 से 9 घंटे minimum trading hours हैं, और ये 3 machines आपकी पूरे 8 to 9 hours तक आपका कर सकती हैं. They can be optimized to their full potential for these 8 to 9 hours. And lastly is their online to offline, which we talked about. They are connecting and they're giving a complete experience जहाँ पे एक consumer है, सारी की सारी booking app के through कर सकता है. You can even track, where your order is going, right from the time you block till the time you get your product back or your, cloth back. You would get to know कहाँ से move कर रहा है, from the time it is picked up to where it is being washed. So you can see all that, like you see in Zomato, जहाँ पे पूरा tracking आपको दिखता है. Similar way, you can even track your order on their app. Next slide, please. So we'll talk, friends, a little bit on the financial model, and I will not like to go into too much of depth on the model financially, but we'll give you some understanding at the macro level, high level, and we can have one-to-one discussion should you have more questions on that. And like I mentioned, this is the opportunity for area. जब मैं area की बात करती हूँ, this is not a state at large or a region at large. We're looking at only city partners at this stage, where we bring only these 11 partners on board. And these 11 partners will have unit franchisees operating under them. So जो cities हमने shortlist की हैं, which are these 11 cities from Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Pune, Jaipur, Chandigarh, and Goa. So these are 11 cities where we wanted to be. Initially, when we launched, we had only decided till Chandigarh, but we realized this is a global brand and they have global recognition. And Goa has a lot of expats and tourist crowd which comes from markets all across the world. So we decided we should also be in Goa. So, and if I look at the opportunity, friends, area franchisee की, this is a city, right? जहाँ पे आपको अगर आप Delhi आप देख रहे हैं, you get the rights for entire Delhi. If you're looking at Bombay, you get the rights for entire Bombay. If you're looking at Bangalore, आपको पूरा city का rights मिलते हैं. And under you can open sub franchisees. So if I have to maybe explain that further, I will explain. As an area franchisee, your roles and responsibilities would be twofold. First and foremost, what you need to do as an area franchisee is you would own the territory. आप पूरा territory की responsibility आपके पास रहती है. आप own करते हैं territory for a period of 10 years. So the agreement term for an area franchisee is larger. आपका 10 साल का agreement होता है. And you have to develop the territory and based on the potential, of the territory. For example, Delhi would have a potential of maybe 100 outlets to be opened. Bombay would have a potential of maybe 75. Bangalore would have a potential of maybe 75 plus. And similarly, Hyderabad, Chennai would have about 50 plus. And maybe Pune, Ahmedabad would have about 40 odd locations which can be opened up. Now, depending on the potential, that becomes your role where you have to develop the territory. While every city would have a different potential, one thing which is worthwhile to be noted, we have only picked up cities, barring Goa, where we have a minimum potential of 25 units. जिस भी सिटी में अगर 25 का पोटेंशियल नहीं है, रीजन में 25 का पोटेंशियल नहीं है, we will not go ahead in that region. So next slide, please. So I'll explain, friends, and this is a very, very important slide for anybody who wants to be a master franchisee or a area franchisee. You get exclusive right of the territory that you own. Minimum potential has to be 25 locations in the city. 25 का potential city में होना चाहिए. Where a franchise partner, as a master franchisee, you have to own one outlet, you have to operate one outlet. And ये जो आपका outlet है, this can also be your training hub, where you would own, operate, and also train sub franchises under you. And you also get the right to sub franchise. एक आउटलेट आप खुद खोलते हैं and बाकी आउटलेट्स आपके नीचे सब फ्रेंचाइज होते हैं. So you also get as a area franchisee, जो अपना आउटलेट आप खुद खोलेंगे उस पे आपको 50% डिस्काउंट मिलता है, right? So this 50% discount is on the franchise fees. And you also get on top of that ongoing royalties होती हैं जो कंपनी चार्ज करती है. As a city master franchisee, you also get a discount on that royalty. So जो आपका master franchise agreement होता है वो 10 साल का होता है. Your city agreement will be for a period of 5 years. And you have two separate agreements that you sign. One is for developing the territory and the other is for owning and operating one outlet of your own. Now, as an area franchisee, what do you get? That's something very important to also understand. And this is a very, I would say, lucrative business model, especially for a city master, because एक outlet खुद own करते हैं, operate करते हैं आप, बाकी सारा आपने सब franchise करना है. Now, what does the area franchisee get? Majorly, he has two sources of income. So एक आपका income है आपका franchise fees, which you get. The other source of income is royalty. So ये दो incomes हैं आपकी जो आपको हर महीने आपको मिलता है. Royalty is recurring. 5 साल का एग्रीमेंट होता है यूनिट का, तो 5 साल तक की रिकरिंग रॉयल्टीज उसको आती हैं मास्टर फ्रेंचाइजी को. तो 50% वो अपना रिटेन करते हैं, 50% गोज टू द पेरेंट कंपनी विच इज मिस्टर जेफ इन स्पेन. सिमिलरली जो फ्रेंचाइज फीस भी आप लेते हैं यूनिट से, उसका भी 50% you keep with you and 50% goes to the parent company in Spain. So that becomes a very big, source of the income. To give you and maybe some understanding in terms of absolute numbers, on an average, एक जो outlet का franchise fees is about 10 lakhs. So 10 lakh में से 5 lakhs goes to the master franchisee. अगर मैं सिर्फ consider करूँ 25 का ही potential, if I take 25 outlets as a potential, then also the franchise fee revenue that you would get or the income that you would get is about 1.25 crore. तो सिर्फ आपको franchise fees का earning है. And if I add your royalties on top of that, जो 50% आपका share होगा, this again translates to about 1.35 crores. So just with a potential of only 25, I'm saying आपका जो income projection है या income का आपका जो potential है, that is almost about 2.5 crores. What it takes to be a master franchisee is a very small fee, which is about $50,000, which you pay and you lock the territory. So $50,000 is the fee for an area franchisee where you lock the territory. And this translates to somewhere around 37 odd lakhs जो आपका fees रहता है. 50,000 is the territory fee. You block the fee, you open and operate one outlet, and while you do that, you can also start franchising. So that's what we had, friends, for you. And I will also request if you have any more questions, अगर आप business operations समझना चाहते हैं, obligations further, for a franchise partner, I will look forward to having maybe one-to-one interaction with you. Jeff is looking for entrepreneurs of the future, leaders, or I would say, franchise partners who come with an entrepreneurial spirit, and mindset. Like I said, no previous experience is needed in the industry type. And Jeff takes care of it completely. But as a franchise partner, you need to have the ability to build a collaborative working relationship within the business and Jeff network. And franchise partners who are hungry to succeed, grow their business, and equally, bullish on expansion and on the industry. If you think this is for you, I'll request all of you to reach out, and I'll request Nitika, if we can put our hotline number, friends. I'll also put my email ID. You can reach out to me. And quickly summing the opportunity, friends, every time, I would maybe rate a business opportunity, and I'm talking from the investor point of view as well. We look at credibility of people who are behind, which means promoters. Second, what we look at is how standardized the systems and processes are. अगर उनके system standardized हैं, processes standardized हैं, my chances of making that successful or efficient rises. Third, I need to have a successful prototype. I don't want to invest in something I don't know, right? But so this company is operating in 40 countries. So the systems are working in not just one city, but 40 countries across the globe. Fourth, as a franchise partner, you also look at the demand of the opportunity. Maybe I'm taking this business, पर इस business की demand है market में कि नहीं है. That's something which is again top of our mind. And lastly is sustainability of the business. Will the business be sustainable? And we have seen, this business has a very fundamental business model. And because of that fundamental business model, the sustainability of the business will always be there. So this is a company which comes with system which is proven in 40 countries. Mr. Jeff is Amazon of personal services. And third, they have a very big tech play and which makes it highly scalable. Jin companies के पास technology play नहीं है, it becomes very difficult for them to scale. वो एक दो outlet 4-5 एक level तक scale कर सकते हैं, but beyond that, it is impossible for them to scale. Fourth, what I said is they're not creating a new market. आप नई market create नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are shifting the market from unorganized to existing, from unorganized to to our brand, or from the existing players to maybe a tech play. And a lot of dissatisfied customers which are taking these services somewhere would also convert. Fifth, we are talking about both B2B and B2C groups, which means आपका business to business भी आएगा, and business to consumer is also something where you can even tie up with local chains जहाँ से आपको business मिलता है. Another point I want to make is you will also have a competitive pricing. A lot of questions which I get when I speak to investors is international brand hai, how will they be priced? Are we looking at some international pricing? But they have very, very competitive pricing which they would do. Lastly, it is a subscription based model. When I say subscription based model, आपका हर महीने subscriber base बढ़ता जाएगा. Whenever this subscriber base is rising and being added up, आपका business का predictability बढ़ता जाता है, right? So even if I take अगर 300 आपके households हैं जो services consume करते हैं, and these are subscribers, for the business, you would have at least, I would say, अगर 300 भी नहीं, if I say even 150 odd people who are taking these services at an average of say 2,000 rupees monthly, then also there is nothing less than 3 lakh rupees that you make in the business. And this business is very low on operating cost. Unlike many other businesses जहाँ पे आपका operating cost बहुत बड़ा होता है, इस business में operating expenses are very low. And hence it's a very big, high margin business. 2 lakh के ऊपर आप easily break even कर सकते हैं. I've not seen many businesses with this kind of investment where you can break even at that kind of money. And if your outlet starts doing anything between say 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees, minimum 1 lakh is something that you can take back home, because the only investment you have to do is one on the rental. We're not looking at prime locations. हमने prime locations पे नहीं देखना है, so your rentals will not be very, very high. Second, I'm not looking at many resources. It will not have more than 2 to 3 resources at the outlet, and these resources are not highly skilled resources. These people will be trained on the business and on Jeff systems and processes. And your third cost is variable. Variable आपका cost होता है consumable के ऊपर. जितना आपका sale होगा, जितने आप कपड़े धुलेंगे या dry clean होंगे या wet cleaning में जाएंगे, उसके हिसाब से आप consumable आपके use होते हैं. So very low in terms of your operating expenses. बहुत fixed आपका जो आपका component है operating expenses का बहुत low है. Rest everything is variable. आपका consumer जो है आप use करते हैं वो आपका variable है. So there's a good potential friends to look at this opportunity. I'll request all of you, if you are looking at more information, please reach on the hotline number of Franchise India. I'm putting also my email ID. You can reach out to me on this number. And we also have Miss Nitika. She's leading the project along with me. And the number you can also WhatsApp is 8800493185. So this is all we had for today. Deveshi, thank you. I've taken your note. You're looking for Delhi and you have shared your email ID. We'll be more than happy to share the cost of establishment. I'll request Nitika to get in touch with you to share all that information, and we can come on a call. Thank you so much, friends, for being with us. Have a great evening ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.